40. Uh-huh. Yep. Oh, hey everyone. Didn't see you there. Just scoping out the hoist mechanism on old Margaret here. Trying to size it up. We're going to be removing this entire system and possibly use these cylinders for some other projects and or just send them on down the road. What I would like to do before we dismantle this is I'd like to telescope these all the way out so I can get a retracted length and then a fully extended length. So that's what we're going to do first. That 3-stage cylinder impresses me almost every single time. Wow. Let's see, get up there and see if we can measure it. And then the trick will be trying to get it to come back down. You guys remember this, we're at 129 3/8 to the base flange of the cylinder. And I have it hooked on the outside diameter of the pin, so we'll have to subtract the radius of that. Here comes the real tricky part. Trying to get these to lower down without any real weight on there, just those I-beams. So here we go. Let's hope we can get her to come down smoothly. If you didn't notice when it was coming up, and this is what I believe part of the problem of all these twin cylinder setups, is one side, it has some type of valve here that's supposed to equal out pressure, but one side extends a little bit further than the other, and that's really bad in the dump truck industry because your load could shift and you don't want it. So I'm not particularly fond of this setup. It obviously worked for this for several years, but yeah, we're not going to use it. We're going to take it off of there and do something completely different with this chassis. I just threw the valve. She should be coming down, but not so much. Put a big boy on it. That's all you need. It's even gone down. She wants to go down crooked. This cylinder has got the smallest ram telescoped, and the other cylinder, this is all the way in, but the middle cylinder is extended. Come on! Yeah! We did it, and we didn't fall off in the process. Now let's get that retracted cylinder length before I forget. 41 1/4. I'm gonna have to do some math here. So we got, what did I say, 129 3/8, and then 41 1/4, I believe. 88. So we got 88 quarters less than 3/8. So we'll add in an 8. 88 1/8 inches. 7 foot 4 inch stroke. That's pretty impressive. So I want to take these numbers and well, actually all these numbers for reference and paint marker them on the side of the cylinder. Got my Right Tool branded tool roll out with my combination wrenches. This is really easy when working on site. Take it to where you're working, and then you can pick the wrench without running back and forth a whole bunch. Yeah. You can see it. Obviously, there's a drain bucket there. We got to bust this hydraulic line loose. First try I didn't get it. Let's see. Oh, second try I didn't get it. Third try is charm. Come on. Yeah, it is. Good old 7/8. Ugh. Nice. Look at that. That's nice. It looks like we just have one retaining pin here, or bolt, and this whole thing can slide off. And then up here on the top, we have a big cotter pin and a cotter key and a pin. The only unfortunate part of this setup here, it looks like this one needs to come out, which will be harder to get out to move the pin that way. You don't need to fold these cotter keys completely over like some people do. I mean, it might tell you to, but just a little wang in there will keep it from falling out. They're all lubed up with a little WD-40. Got Granddad's old S&K ratchet that I rebuilt in another video. I'll leave it down in the link if you're interested. Let's hope this old girl holds up. The teeth inside the gear head were a little questionable in one of these. I don't remember which one it was. We'll see. Ah. Oh, that's nice. Appears as if this is a collar ring that has to come off. To get the old hammer for that. Ta-da! All right. Get that cotter key out of the top and we'll be good to go. "100% the wrong tool for this job, but if it works." Oh, it's coming. It almost got it all the way out. Ta-da! That's probably one of the biggest cotter pins I've ever took out of anything. That's heavy duty. All right, let's get crazy. You guys think the thing weighs 100 pounds, 200 pounds? That's not coming out of there, so hot. There it goes. Okay, it bound on the hoist. The pin out of the top, it's kind of bound on the hoist here. We got the clamp ring off. I was kind of hoping this would have pivoted down. That way you don't have to tackle the whole load at once. I don't know if we have enough play to come sideways with this and then kind of angle out. We'll just have to see. Oh. It's not looking good. Okay. Come on, baby. Oh, not too hateful. So take us in the garage. Always I'm a little hesitant first time you tackle something that you're not familiar with. Don't stick your fingers in there. Because you never know what it's going to be like. You never know what it's going to weigh. It could surprise you. Just the shape and awkwardness of it could be a huge problem. But we got it off of there. Gotta go over and do the exact same thing the other side. Would you just look at this cylinder? I mean, this thing is huge. This is a lower pivot attachment point to the chassis, And this bore is just, oh man, it's pretty large. Let's see if we can estimate here just by looking at the case. I want to say the main bottom portion is over 4. I could be wrong on that, but just looking out the outside of the case, I mean, the tube's probably got some thickness to it, but the outside of the flange is 5. The tube is just shy of that on each side. It's like it's about 4.75 OD on this outer tube. And this thing packs some serious power. Anyways, let's wrestle this thing off of this truck bed or these long sill I-beams and get it in the garage for safekeeping. Oh, it's heavy. Oh God. Oh. I'm gonna try to keep all the pieces with the cylinder, that way I don't lose them and I can use it for something else, because we'll likely keep the same attachment points. These are some beefy pins. Let's see. 1 3/4 pins. So ultimately this whole attachment plate with this pivot shaft that ties the outer frames needs to come off, and those bolts probably aren't going to come off. Oh. Those bolts can't be tight if they're liquid. Not going to believe it, I wrestled the torch tanks out of where they were buried, and now hopefully we can just melt the heads of those bolts right off of there. Hopefully everything works. Last time I turned the regulator on, it was kind of stuck. The odds of that happening. I actually have a striker with good flint. Yeah? Yeah? Welcome back. It's the very next day. Obviously it's daylight out, but we got some really, what looks to be like heavy storm clouds rolling in. I don't know how much we're gonna get done. We're gonna try to at least get this lift bracket off of here, or make our best stab at it. So last night we lanced off the bolt heads. Got a little extra there, and maybe a little there, but I'm not a well-skilled torch operator, so took a little bit longer than what I wanted it to, but the end results are pretty happy with, because I didn't want to cut in or do a real crappy job cutting into this bracket. I wanted to maintain the integrity of this bracket and just melt off the heads of the bolts, which it looks like for the most part we did. I do think the torch head needs cleaned out, and maybe even we need a new tip for it, so that could help improve it. Here a couple minutes ago off camera, I tried to stick just a wedge in here, cutting chisel, and pound on it to try to pop this loose. Well, I didn't realize it until now, but there's some welds here. I don't know if there's any underneath, I didn't look, but there's definitely a stitch weld here and a stitch weld here. So we're gonna have to burn that off of there too. Here we go. Yeehaw! I think I get this one to let go and she's loose. Ta-da! Alright, now all you gotta do is perform the same treatment on the other side. I was a little disappointed. I thought I scarfed into the frame here on this one, but I think there was a hole right behind that weld. We did scarf in just a little bit, but if we want to reuse that, we can weld that back in, hopefully. Those bolts do not want to come out of there, that's for sure. All right, let's go over to the other side and try to get this the rest of the way off. This side appears to be much the same. We got a weld here and a weld here. We did a little bit better job on this. Maybe this one here just has a little part of the bolt head left. That'd probably pop, but I'll hit that with a torch wire over here. But again, took us a while, but I didn't gouge into the plate a lot. The worst gouging that I had on the other one was trying to cut this top off, and yeah, I think there's just no way around that. Almost there. Ugh. There's one big piece of the puzzle out of the way. Now we just got to hide it from the crackhead scrappers. They're out and about now, full force. Let's see if we can't get the rest of this lanced off of here. Got the lower part that the lift arms or lift rams attached to removed from the frame. Now we got the upper long sills, or these I-beams, and the hinge point. And let's face it, they need some work. And all my lifting equipment's kind of broken at the moment. So I don't want to be manhandling this stuff around as one big piece. We're going to try to lance off this lift point bracket and flop it down as individual sides. Oops. Shouldn't come off on this side as I expected. That was like a laminated plate, was already broke loose. So that cut didn't really do anything. We'll be able to remedy that when we get it off of there to make it smaller. But we're stuck on the other side on a very small piece. Let's just see if we can't bend it off with the old jack handle. That jack handle seems small compared to this. Ah. Oh, she's coming just like a paper clip. Who's your daddy? Come on. Yeah. Gotta be careful, it's still hot. Good news is the rain's gonna cool that off a little bit. So this is how I anticipated the other side to go. We dug out the weld on this side, sliced her all the way down here. Right there is where it was stuck. But they double welded it and we didn't get the weld on this side. Otherwise, this would look exactly like the other half. See if we can't get these big I-beams off of here. We got a big hinge pin on the back here, goes all the way through. If we're lucky, we take these cotter pins out, we can get this whole shaft out of here and get these I-beams off of here. This hinge bracket is bolted to an inner liner and welded all the way around, so we're not monkeying with that. We just want to get this shaft out of here. Holy crap. Can't believe that just happened. She moving. Yeah. Rip. There's one. We got the old dump hoist mechanism completely off of the chassis. I'm super excited about that. It might not seem like a lot, but for me, it's a win because it's a step in the right direction. Let me take you up here and show you something that you may not have known before. This frame is just, it's bad. I've never seen rust jacking that bad before. So let me take you up there and show you what we're dealing with and what we're gonna try to fix. We get in there and take a look at that. Take a look at that rust jacking there. That is really bad, and it extends up. The majority of the bad part is in the back section here, but it is jacked all over the place. If you eyeball down this rail, you'll see it. Where it's jacked real bad, and it is nasty. So obviously this all needs to be addressed. The good news is the worst part is in the back section here, and since we're shortening the chassis, a lot of this is going to go away. Now you know a little bit more about the frame condition, what we need to do and how we're going to get there. Later videos we're going to try to shorten this chassis up, get in there and dismantle this really bad frame. There's a lot going on there. If you like this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Leave your questions and comments in that section below, and don't forget to punch that subscribe button your way out. I gotta go inside. It's raining, my tools are getting wet, I'm getting wet. I mean, I could stand out here and look at this old girl all day long, but I don't like getting wet. We'll catch you next time.